Hello friends, welcome back to another video. We're going to be doing another vlog and I am super duper excited for this vloggerino that I will be doing because it will be all about the romance, particularly of the sports variety. So if you've seen my TBR video, you will know that I have a few sports romances on my TBR, and the ones that I want to read for this vlog, we'll see how long the vlog goes. I really don't know how this is going to go. I might love all of these and read all the way through all of them. I might end up DNFing some. I might not like, so I don't know, because as we've established, I've only recently realised this when I got this prompt, is I don't read sports romances, and it's not because I don't like them. It's just clearly I just haven't gravitated towards them, or I've picked them up and just not read them. So I reached out to Andy from Zipper Reads, Emily from Emily Kathleen Reads, and Steph from Steph Loves, and asked them all to give me some sporty romances. And the first person to respond was Andy, and Andy gave me Pucking Around by Emily Rath, Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer, and Unsteady by Peyton Corrin. I don't own any of these. I will be getting them, I will be acquiring them somehow. I can get Pucking Around on audio, so that's probably the one I'm going to read first. But I will also be trying to read Collide and Icebreaker. I have seen some people DNF this quite early. I have seen some people love this. Most people I've seen that I watch loved this, but there have been a few that rated it 2 stars or DNF'd it. So I'm excited to see what my thoughts are going to be on these. And yeah, I don't know how it's going to go. And then Steph gave me some different ones. So Lights Out by Kayla James, it's an F1 romance, and she has said she knows it's not for everyone, so if it might not be my thing, so if not, Night Shift by Annie Crown. But I'm going to give Lights Out by Kayla James a go first, and depending on how that goes, I might then give Night Shift by Annie Crown a go. There are quite a few different sports romances out there, but I want to read from the ones that I know that people I watched loved, if that makes sense. Does it make sense? I don't know if it does, but here we go. I'll wait for Emily to reply. I will start reading the Pucked book. What's it called? I've literally just... Is it all pucked out? No, it's not. Pucked up. Pucking Around.
Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah!
Oh my god, I'm pucked up. I will start reading Pucking Around by Emily Rath, and I will update you when I'm partway through that. I know that that's a long one. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
And it's also spicy. I will, yes, do the things. Hello, hello, hello. I'm coming in to tell you that I am, where am I? What is life? I don't know. I had to read, I didn't have to read. I'm on chapter 31. Jesus Christ. Chapter 31. I still have 8 hours left. It is chapter 31 of 115. But I have read this so fast. I got the audiobook. I am devouring this. I had to read. There's a novella called That One Night that was set 2 months prior to this starting, and it says at the beginning of the book when I opened it that it was best to read that before you read this, because although you can start this first without reading the novella, you do get to know a bit more about the characters and a bit more character depth if you were to read the novella. So that's what I did, and I didn't realise when I downloaded the audiobook that I could have just listened to the novella without getting it on Kindle, but I think it was on KU anyway, so it don't matter. But anyway, how do we say this is a spicy. I did not realise that this was why I choose either. This is my first proper why I choose. The last sort of why choose type thing that I read was a couple of years ago when I did Vlogmas. There was a really smutty novella about like was it last year even? No, it must be the year before. It was like two friends. They were like openly queer. They had a thing, and then they invited a girl into this thing. I think it was last year. I don't, whatever it was. That's the only sort of why I choose I had it. It was a novella. It was just pure Christmas smut. So I haven't really read a why I choose that has character depth and growth and things. Now that I've realised it's a why I choose, I'm already in my brain thinking like I know who this is about. So basically, for those of you who don't know, looking around for a girl called Rachel Price. She is a doctor and she specialises in like sports injuries and like well not necessarily sports injuries, like injuries with like knees and hips, which has led her down the route of like working in sports. So 2 months prior to this, she is at her brother's wedding. She finds out that she doesn't get the fellowship that she's applied for and that she's worked so hard for. So she slinks out of the brunch after the wedding, ends up in a bar and meets Jake. And he saves her from a very creepy guy situation. And then they immediately have this spark and this connection. And they agree that it's one night. And he's more open than she is to getting to know her properly. And he keeps asking for her name and stuff. But she's very much in the mindset of like, no, this is just going to be a one-time thing. I've had a really crap news about my career and I don't know what I'm going to do. I just want to have a night of fun. And she doesn't tell him her name, but she does give him a little bit of an insight into like, I think she tells him her profession. And he says, I work in defence, like my position is defence, whatever. So she knows he's in sports and he knows that she's a doctor. That's all they know about each other. She wants a clean break from it, so while he's sleeping she turns off his alarm and she leaves. And that novella is just that whole introduction to them. And I will say, it does feel, not insta-lovey, but I do understand instant connections. I do. Like when you feel, I do believe that can happen, like an instant connection with somebody. But at one point they mentioned like, oh, I can't fall for someone in one night. I don't believe you can fully fall in love with someone in one night. Like that doesn't ring true in my brain, but I can understand like lusting after someone or feeling a connection with someone that you just met. I get that. And that novella got 4 stars, but this is basically Rachel finds out that she has got a fellowship for reasons. Somehow she's got this fellowship. I'm not going to explain how that happens, but she then gets told, like, because it's a last minute thing, you just take whatever fellowship has already been set up. You don't have a choice. You're going to go to Jacksonville. You're going to be working for the Rays, and that's all she knows. So she goes there, and then she meets Caleb, who collects her from the airport. There is Jake, who she comes across again, and I think the third person in this why choose situation is Mars. He's a grumpy goalie, and he is called Bear. He is the Bear. So you can imagine that a big grumpy goalie who's Finnish, blonde, called a Bear. Imagine what it looks like. Because I can. It's just sort of the first chapters that I've read so far is just Rachel moving and seeing Jake again and interacting with Caleb, and she's only had one interaction with Mars and he was very standoffish, but she's there to do physicals with them and make sure that they are ready for game day and to play. But Caleb is a equipment manager. Oh, and there's also a queer rep in this. One of the characters has already started to talk about how he realised he was queer, and I don't fully know if it's gonna be her and all them, or if there's gonna be some kind of relationship between the men as well, or like some of the men. So far it's really good, and I've just been yammering at you for 8 minutes, so I'm going to go back and listen to / immersion read this, and I'm really loving my Kindle right now. I got this little charm thing for it. It has all the boys from 17 on there, and you might not know who 17 is, but they're a K-pop band, and there's only 13 of them, but they're called 17 because 13 members, 3 units, 1 team, 17. Anyway, I'm gonna go and read some more. I don't want to put this down. I don't want to put this down. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Kicking, screaming. Oh my god. This is so good. I am seriously though, why choose? Hello friends, it's freezing, it's snowing, and it's just not a great day for hot weather, but I'm here to tell you that I finished Pucking Around, and it was so good. I will say that, like, obviously it's a romance, so it's gonna be cheesy, it's gonna be a bit over the top at times, but the conversations that they have in this book is just, it's so well done. They could have easily fetishized the whole why choose thing and being with multiple partners, and I will be honest, I don't know, because it's not something that I'm interested in doing in my life. It's not the type of life I would like to lead in, like, a couple situation or a pairing situation. It's not something I've ever really looked into. I know it exists, and I know obviously the basics, but I'm not really thinking into, like, logistics and things like that. But it gave me an insight into I mean, I wonder if the author is also in a polyamorous relationship, because it feels like, from someone who isn't involved in that lifestyle and that way of living, like, it feels like this comes from a place of she's either done a hell of a lot of research, which you'd expect if she wasn't in a polyamorous relationship herself, or she is in a polyamorous relationship and she knows the logistics and feelings. And there was no third act breakup, but there was a third act issue that needed to be resolved. Obviously I'm not going to spoil anything. Again, I don't know if you can with a romance, but that third act issue is so well navigated. Yes, it was smutty. Yes, there was a lot of sex scenes. Some of the sex scenes were also sort of intimate situations between the partners. There was, like, obviously when there's 3, 4 people involved in a relationship, it was like the reassurances and just the, I can't say it enough, the open dialogue. Like, this communication in this book is the kind of communication you'd expect from an actual adult relationship. None of this half-heard conversations. It's like, they do have problems. They do, like, one of the, like, some issues that they have that take a while to come out, and she's sort of trying, as she gets to know these men, trying to coax them to be more open about things, and she has her own shit to deal with. It's just, oh, it's so good. If you were to take the smut out of it, if this had been like a closed door thing, I would have still enjoyed it because of the way that she built their relationship. It probably would have been half the page count because there is like 700 pages. I read it so fast. I started it yesterday, finished it today. I found it so hard to put down. I was supposed to pick up another book for another vlog, and I couldn't. I just wanted to be in the moment with these characters and just find out how they were going to navigate this whole situation, because I could understand it would be quite scary being in that situation when you don't know how your family are going to react, how, like, the whole thing, polyamory thing is new to you as a person. And then when you're in the spotlight, you know, these are part of a hockey team. There's also discovering sexuality in here as well, and it's just so good. So good. I would highly recommend this to anyone who would like to read a book that doesn't fetishize polyamory. I know that a lot of people love Den of Vipers, a lot of people didn't love Den of Vipers. I feel like the way that approaches the whole YG situation is just not the way to do it. This is the way to do it from an outsider perspective. I feel like I understand that situation a bit more, and I would really, really like to read more from this author. So saying that, I am going to get the physical copy. There's such quotable moments. I'm so happy that I read this on my Kindle as well. I did switch purely to audio when I went to bed because my eyes were just like so tired. But there were some moments in that I quoted that I will be writing in my fully booked journal because they're funny and just, yeah. There were some poignant moments in there as well, but anyway, I'm going to stop talking about it now. I don't know what to read next, because I've read an Andy Rec, so what I think I might do is move on to a Steph Rec. So let me just double check which ones Steph recommended. I think the first one was Lights Out by Kayla James. I need to double check if that was the first recommendation. I've got too many apps in this phone and I don't know where I'm supposed to go for what. Lights Out by Kayla James. Yep, it's an F1 romance. So we're going to go into that next. And then I'm going to pick an Emily Rec. I'm going to see how long this video is. And it might just be a few books in this one. And then I'll do a part 2. Hi. I've just thought I'd come in and give you an update on Lights Out. So far, I just absolutely love it. It's so good. I love there's not really, it's not, I feel like I'm shouting at you, so I'm gonna take this off. It's not like there's banter between the two of them. It's just like, I don't know, it's just the relationship, the communication, everything is just so cute and good. The only thing that I would like to see more of is the building of the relationship, because it sort of skips through time quite quickly, so you don't see the training. Although for some people that might be boring. I don't know. But we know that there's been a longer passage of time because it's like months of training and then they do multiple races and it says like X amount of weeks ago, like all these months of training. It tells you that all this time has passed, but because it's such a quick read, it feels like it's happened in such a short space of time, if that makes sense. So I personally, as a person who loves character work, would have liked to have seen a little bit more them spending time together, because it's very much telling. It doesn't show you them smut scenes. I will say Kayla can do smut. I do feel the connection between them. I can, honestly, that's not the problem. I just, as a person who likes to see a little bit more of characters being together, I wouldn't have minded it being a little bit longer and seeing that. But I'm 85% in now and I'm amazing reading it, and it's just so good. It does make me want to move straight on to Jumpstart, which I can't do because I don't have it. And I don't think it's out yet. It's not out yet, I don't think. But yeah, I'm just having the best time. And I'm wrapping up like this because I'm freezing. Hello merry friends, I am back again to give you an update on Lights Out. So, I adored it. 5 stars, no notes, highlighted the shit out of the Kindle version. There was literal paragraphs where Ryder was just talking. Words were exiting that man's hole in his mouth and I was just a simp. I'm sorry, if a guy loved me that much and talked about me the way that he talked about his girl, seriously, like, tie him down. No, can't do that. I mean, like, put everything on it, do you know what I mean? It was just so good. I do like a feisty main character and a character that sticks up for herself. Oh, and I tend... it's different in sort of contemporary, like, books when you think about a feisty main character, because in fantasy they need to be sort of stabby feisty, whereas in contemporary it just needs to be a person with a backbone, like, can't be walked all over. That is exactly what Blake is like. Blake, well, she's one of, it's like in a male dominated sport, and she loves that sport, and she has to deal with sexist people, and she just takes no shit. And what I did really like about this book is that it did highlight, in parts, times when things were said about her being a female in F1, but that wasn't the main focus. It wasn't just about her trying to prove wrong all the skeptics. So that was part of the reason behind what she wanted to do, she wanted to prove them wrong, but she wanted to succeed for herself because it's a love of the sport, and people being sexist and rude and whatever was just sort of like something that was highlighted, but it was a side thing to the romance and her love of the sport. And I'm not saying I'm going to get into F1 or anything and that I'm going to be glued to my seat when race day comes, but it was really interesting learning a little bit more about F1. It doesn't go into too much technical detail, but now I understand what it means by lights out. I didn't know, like, what correlation that phrase had to the title, and now I do. So you learn something new every day, and it sort of give a little bit of it, like, when they run race days and they were talking about pit stops and stuff. Still don't understand the mechanics and the timings and stuff like that, but getting that whole thing for someone who's not ever really been into F1, it didn't take me out of the story. It didn't overload me with jargon. It actually kind of made me a bit interested in the whole sport. Again, like I said, I'm not going to be a massive fan sitting down for F1 race day, but it was really good. And I did not realise the amount, obviously I knew you had to be fit and healthy to be in that kind of, obviously because of the, you know, the speed that you go and the effect, is that what it's called? That can have on the body, and you need to be in good physical condition to drive one of those cars. But I didn't realise the amount of training you need to do in order to, like, be deemed fit enough to drive one of those cars. Absolute madness. Did not know that was a thing at all. I thought it was just like, yeah, keep yourself fit and healthy. Didn't know they had, like, a training regime. Oof, mind blown. Anyway, I'm going to go into Wrong Mr. Right, and I don't know what this is about. I just know it's recommended by Emily. And that is all we're going to know before going into this. I'm going to listen to this on Spotify whilst I play my game and drink some Pepsi Max. I'm just in a really lazy mood. Like, I'm due to get some more yarn tomorrow for some upcoming projects that I want to do for a concert that me and some of my friends are going to in July, and I don't really want to be starting any of the sort of like crafty projects when that yarn's coming tomorrow. So I was going to start crocheting something, but I'd have to put it down to pick up these projects anyway, because I've never made any of these little things before, and it's going to take me a while to get used to learning the pattern and things like that. So yeah, I don't know why you need to know this, but again, brain has been new meds. Well, I say new at regularly taking my meds, remembering, and it's just thrown me off totally. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to listen to Stephanie Archer and see what we see. Is it going to be a 3 for 3? Did I tell you that I gave Lights Out 5 stars? Probably not, because I'm rambling. But yes, 5 stars. And I'm super excited to dive in to Stephanie Archer's books. And I've also just realised that some of these books I want to own physically, and I have no space in my library at the moment. So, is there going to be an unhaul coming? Probably. And I'll still love these bloody earphones. I have to take them off when I'm talking to you though, because it sounds like I'm shouting at you. Anyway, wrong Mr. Right, here we go. Let's go. Guten Abend, meine Freunde. Wir haben ein kleines Problem. I finished a book, and I didn't tell you that I started it, I don't think, but I have now finished it. It was The Wrong Mr. Right. Is that what it's called? The Stephanie Archer. I think I did say at the end of the clip that I was going into it, but I gave you 0 updates partway through because I just consumed the whole thing. It was great. However, it didn't give me 5-star feels, but it was 4.5. So we're all good. I rounded it up to a 5 on Goodreads because I could. So I did, and I'm just really excited to dive into the rest of the books that I want to get to. So we've done a Steph rec, we've done an Emily rec, we've done a Zebra rec, which is Andy to those normal people. So we're going to pick up either Collide or Icebreaker, because those are 2 sports romances that I selected myself because I like the look of them. So, do we know which one we're picking up? No. So we're going to do a coin toss on the Google. So, heads I win, tails you lose. Jokes. Can you see that? So heads will go with Collide, and tails will go with Icebreaker, because if you fall on the ice you may break your tailbone. So we're going to go with that. So let's go. Flip, flip. Do I have to... Tails! Is that it? Tails. So we're going to go with Icebreaker. Can I find the audio for this? Because I am currently... It's Friday. And I am currently in the process of starting a project. It's these. And these are little things I'm going to put like at the top. I'm going to hook like keyrings in so they can like be hung from bags and stuff. So I'm going to be making these for me and the friendos going to see Stray Kids in July, and I'm starting them now because I feel like I need to get used to the pattern. This will be the last book for my sports romance vlog, and then I will do a part 2 where I read the rest of the recommendations that the girls gave me, plus Collide. And that'll be a part 2. But right now I'm going to head off and start Icebreaker, and I'm going to try and remember to update you partway through. Will I remember? I know not. Hey friends, I'm halfway through Icebreaker, and I'm enjoying it, but I don't think it's giving me 5-star feels. I think it's probably going to be maybe a 4, 4.5. I do like Stasia, Anastasia, and I do like Nate, the other main character. What really brings this up for me, and he's keeping it at a sort of high rating as well, is the friendship that she makes with the rest of his teammates, and sort of the personalities of his teammates that come through, even though they're clearly not the main characters in this. They are really funny, and they are really sweet, and it makes me wonder. I need to have a look and see who is it Wildfire and Daydream. I need to see who they follow and whether they've been mentioned in here, because obviously with series like this normally it would be like the friends of somebody that the second and third book follow. And there's a couple of people that have in mind that it might be, but I don't know if Wildfire and Daydream are actually still hockey player ones. But anyway, that's by the by. I am really enjoying it. I don't know what it is that's not giving me 5-star feels. It's really bugging me. But I think it's, I don't know, in the previous ones I've read, I've kind of been sort of like squealing and kicking and screaming at like how cute they are, and it's sort of giving me like the little goosebumps, and you know that feeling, don't you, where you're just like, oh my god, this is so adorable, and it just screws them. And it's that, it does have the whole protective male thing going on, and I really, really, really despise her partner, her skating partner, Aaron, fuckface. What does she call? What does Nate call him? And Nate call him Dickface, something like that. He is so toxic, and I will say that there is a little bit of discussion. It doesn't go into a lot of detail, but clearly, because she's a skater, because she's being lifted by somebody, there is discussions, or there's comments made about how she needs to stay under a certain weight, how she needs to eat certain things or can't eat certain things. She's constantly, she's got her life planned out, and there is mentions of anxiety and things like that. And her partner is so ridiculously toxic, and she lives with her skating partner, and she sees him as a friend, and she sort of makes excuses and knows that he's got a lot going on, so kind of thinks, and she lets him off with the way that he speaks to her. And I swear to God, if I ever saw any of my friends being treated this way by someone else in their life, I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut. And I don't know how other people in their lives, and this is what kind of gets me, like, she lives with her friend Aaron and Lola, and Lola also puts up with Aaron's shit, but there's, from the outside looking in, you can clearly see how toxic he is, and nobody's mentioning it. Nobody's saying, like, you do realise him, like, monitoring and, like, making comments on what you eat and, like, who you sleep with, and, like, the fact that he just blows off and blows his top. And then they make excuses. It's like, oh, this is what he does. He gets angry, but then he is so sweet. It just reminds me of such toxic, like when you see someone in a toxic relationship, even though they're just friends. And if it turns out, I'm not going to say whether it does or not, but if it turns out that he acts this way with her because he has feelings for her, I'm gonna rage, because it's never okay anyway. But to say that he's acted like an absolute asswipe because he has feelings for it, if it turns out to be that would literally, I would be eating this. I think that's just not okay. And I don't want it to go that way. I don't want the author to give him an out, or some way of, like, people being like, oh, he was just jealous, it's still not okay, but he was jealous. People do things behind him. Maybe he's just a dick. Maybe you just leave this character as being just a dick, and he needs to just be out of her life, and she needs to get a partner that is going to appreciate her for her talent as a skater. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they're my thoughts right now. And I'm gonna, whilst I've been listening to that, I've also been crocheting Wolftown's head. It's so tiny. I didn't realise, I knew that these were like mini characters and mini amigurumi, but I didn't realise how small they were going to turn out, and it's just absolutely adorable. So I need to finish him. I think when I continue with the rest of this, I'm going to go get a shower and get some food, and then listen to the other half of this. I need to do my Korean tonight as well, but that's a totally different thing. Anyway, I'm going. Bye. Hello friends! We're back. And I can take this bookmark out now, because I finished this, and I think I'm gonna go for 4.5. Not decided yet, but it's not a 5, but it was still really good. I don't know why I feel like I need to justify giving something 4 stars, because 4 stars is still an amazing rating. But I really, again, really loved the side characters are what really sort of kept this up there for me. The love and loyalty from all their friends, it was great. And that was my sports romance pick for my TBR. 2 birds, 1 stone. Well, to be fair, any books that I've read for this could have been my sports romance pick for this TBR for this month, but I'm gonna assign it to this book and say that sports romance is definitely something I will continue to read more of. And I will be doing a part 2 where I do the other recommendations. So yeah, that was it. I'm really excited to read more and just see what the rest of the sports romance world has to offer. Yeah, but that's it from me. If you do like me and you want to see more of me, please like, comment, subscribe to all that good stuff. And if you were here and you want to let me know you don't have anything to say, black heart, very much appreciated. Until next time, enjoy whatever you're doing, what you're doing, and I'll see y'all